Hello. My name is Jefford. I'm from Rubik's Academy. This is the first video in a series of videos of what I call the beginner's scholarship for stocks. Okay. Now, in this series, I'll be going through all the most basic tenets and the most basic elements of the stock market. Okay. Now, these elements by no means should make you an expert. All right, it is not meant to make any beginner an expert in stocks trading or stocks investing. But here's the thing, okay? It is meant as an introductory course. It is meant to introduce you to the world of stocks. Okay, at least by the end of this series, you should know how to open a broker account. You should be able to at least buy a stock or two. You should know why it's a stock. You should know why it's a stock market. You should know what shares are. You should know how to at least briefly how to look at shares, what are things to look at, what the different people do with shares, what are the different mechanisms that comes with shares and stocks. Okay, so by the end of this series, you should know those things. But my advice is this: despite knowing those things, you can try buying a share or two. Okay, just put in very little money. But you should not be making it a full-time gig, because this beginner series is not enough to make stocks trading or stocks investing a full-time gig for anyone. It is not enough. It is meant for complete amateurs who know nothing about the stock market, because I think with the pandemic, a huge topic that people have been talking about is the stock market. And as an amateur or as an outsider, sometimes you hear these discussions going on and you want to interact with them, you want to engage in these discussions, but you can't because you simply don't know what they are talking about. Does that sound like you? Okay, if it does, this series is where you should start. Start by watching the videos in this series. I will try to produce the videos as regularly as possible. So that your knowledge on the matter will be as updated as possible. All right. So without further ado, I think today's most important topic is what is a stock. Okay. So you have heard different terminologies for this term. Okay. Some people call it shares. Some people call it stocks. Now, the only difference between shares and stocks is the country, which is basically the British call it shares, but the Americans call it stocks. Okay, so that's the only difference. Other than that, they are the exact same thing. Okay, now a stock or share, okay, is also what we call a form of security. Okay, security. All right. Now, what is a security? A security is not the security guard that you see downstairs. Okay, a security is anything that allows you to have partial ownership of a corporate entity. Okay, a security, or anything that allows you to participate in the financial markets like stocks, bonds, FX options, CFDs. These are all called securities. Okay, securities is the umbrella term for all the different ways that you can participate in the financial markets. But remember, for this beginner series, we are only focusing on the stock markets. We are not focusing on bonds. We are not focusing on CFDs. We are not focusing on commodities. We are not focusing on FX. We are not focusing on options, on futures. Okay, we are not focusing on all of that. We are just doing stocks. Okay, so a security is just the umbrella term for all the different ways that you can participate in the financial markets. Okay, so if you own a bond, you own a security. If you own a stock, you own a security. Okay, so all these are considered different securities, and security is the umbrella term for all the different ways that you can participate in the financial markets. Okay, so now let's go back. A stock is also called a security. Okay, now, but like I said, a security is just an umbrella term for all the different ways that you can participate in the markets. What exactly is a stock? A stock represents ownership. Okay, so for example, if there is a company, okay, people can break down the company into different bits and pieces. Okay, so a company is an intangible object. But let's say I believe in this company. I know that this company is going to do well. I know that this company has great intrinsic value. All right, it has a lot of customers. The operations, the product line is extremely good. Okay, so what I will do is I will want to purchase a stock of the company or a share. Like I said, synonymous. Okay, so let's go to Investopedia. All right, a stock is a security that represents the ownership of a fraction of a corporation. A corporation is basically a company. Okay, a corporation for Singaporeans is called a private limited. All right, basically it's a full-fledged company. Different countries, different terms. All right, that's why for Investopedia they use corporation to represent a company. Okay, now a company and a limited liability partnership are two different things. A company and a partnership are two different things. So for stocks and shares, it refers strictly to companies and companies only. All right. So what happens when you buy a stock? When you buy a stock, it entitles you, who is the owner of the stock, to a proportion of the company's assets, okay, and profits equal to how much stock you own. So basically, whenever somebody offers you a business and you want to invest into a business, you become a shareholder. So whatever profits that this business generates, you get a cut of it. You get a cut of it. Okay. So in other words, when you get a cut of these profits, you are a shareholder. All right. So for common shareholders who buy common shares or common stocks, all right, the profit that is given to them is called dividends. All right. Now it is up to the company whether they want to issue dividends or not. Okay. So unless you are a major shareholder, okay, you are not entitled to the profits. Okay, if you are a minor shareholder, you only buy one share or two shares. All right, you get access to the profits via this thing called dividends. But it's up to the company whether they want to issue dividends or not. Okay, so I will stop here. All right, this is the lesson for what are stocks, what are shares. So primarily when you buy a stock, you are owning part of the company. That is how you invest into a company. That is how you become a partial owner of the company. That's all. All right. So on to the next video where I will be talking about the stock market.